Hello, this is Math 25, Section 1.2, Finding Linear Equations and Functions. So, objective for this section, number 1, point slope form of the equation of the line, and parallel and perpendicular lines that we're going to compare, and linear, and we call the function is the equation, and then we're going to talk about one problem for the applications. Linear equations in two variables. In the last section, 1.1, nearly every question started with an equation and asked for the graph. But this section is simply the reverse question. So information about the graph line will be a given, and question will be asked for the equation. So we try to make the equation. Okay. So far we have covered two different forms of the equation of the line, which is the standard form, and then the slope-intercept form. So first example. So find the slope-intercept form for the equation of the line with a slope -2 and -7 and 0.5. So on this case, since they said slope-intercept form, so I want to start with the y equal to mx plus b. And then m represent the slope and b is represent the y-intercept for the y value. So slope is -2, is m is already -2. And then the b is 5 here, so because this is always 0 before the y-intercept. So when you plug it in, you get the -2x plus 5. So that's the equation you're looking for as a linear. Okay, next page. Slope formula. So a line passes through the 2 points x sub 1 and y sub 1 and x sub 2 and y sub 2. So which means this must be the two different points. And then the slope of the formula, we gotta use this form. So m equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So we are looking for the slope for this time, okay? As a given the 2 points from the line. So the first one, find the slope of the equation and of the line passing through the 0, 1, and 2, 5. So I want to label. So I want to say 0 is x sub 1 and 1 is x sub 2. 2 is x, oh, no, sorry, what am I talking about? Sorry about that. So 1 is y sub 1, x sub 2, 2 is x sub 2, and 5 is y sub 2. So in order to find the slope formula is subtracting the 2y's from the 2 to 1, and then subtracting the 2x's from 2 to 1, okay? So y sub 2 on the point is 5, y sub 1 is 1, and x sub 2 is a 2, and x sub 1 is a 0, okay? So I got 4 over 2, and then simplify, so of course the slope is a 2 for this time. Second equation, find the slope of the equation of the line passing through the -2 and 4, and then 0 and 1. So I want to label x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, and y sub 2. So slope formula is subtract the 2 y's on the top, subtract the 2 x's on the bottom. So y sub 2 represent is 1 minus 4, then 0 minus -2. Okay, you subtract always the values. Okay, so -3 over 2 negative always become positive. So -3 over 2, which is this is same as 3 over -2 too. So either way is fine. Okay. Find the slope of the equation of the line passing through the 3 and 4 and -1 and 4. So this time 3 is x sub 1, 4 is y sub 1. -1 is x sub 2, 4 is y sub 2. So in order to find the slope, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So y sub 2 is 4 minus 4. X sub 2 is a -1 minus 3, which is 0 over -4, which means this is a 0. So when you have a zero slopes always give us the horizontal line. Okay, so in order to get the equation, you go to what? Y is a stage of 4. See? Do you see that there's a y? It's a stage of 4, which means you can just take the y. Okay, the next question is find the slope of the equation of the line passing through the 2 and -1 and 2 and 3. So this is x sub 1, -1 is y sub 1, 2 is x sub 2, y sub 2 is a 3. Okay, so slope formula is y sub 2 subtract y sub 1. X sub 2 minus x sub 1, plug it in, 3 minus -1 over 2 minus 2, so 2 negative become positive, so 4 over 0, which is, this is actually the undefined. So undefined case means you cannot describe the slope. Okay, so which means this is, as you notice, the x value just stays at 2, right? Isn't it? So this is the equation of x equal to 2. Alrighty? Okay, let's look at the next page. Point slope form of the equation of the line. So there's another way you can define the equation of the line, which is we call the point slope form. So slope intercept form, when we have a slope and y-intercept, which is 0b, and then we can write out the equation of the line. But what if it's not a y-intercept? What if it's just a point of the any point on the line? That means we can use a point slope form. So the point slope form is actually coming from the slope formulas. So when you write down the slope formula, right? And then if you multiply x minus x of 1 both sides, and then on the right side this cancels out, you got y minus y sub 1, but other side is m times x minus 1. And then you switch these two x, the m and x minus x sub 1, and then this is the forms of the slope in a point slope form. So, but if you switch these two sides, because the equations are always symmetric, okay? And then this is come out as a point slope form. So let's use the point slope form to find the equation. So find the point slope intercept form of the line through the 2 and 5 using the point slope form. So you gotta use a point slope form. So we have to put y minus y sub 1 equal to m times x minus x sub 1. But we don't know the slope yet, so we know how to find the slope, right? So y subtract, x subtract, and plug it in. So let's say this is x1, y1, what am I talking about? x2, y2, okay? So 1 subtract 5 over 0 minus 2. So I got negative 4 over negative 2, which is a 2. So that's a slope. So we got the m. And then, well, you can use either one, but you can use, but we already called so y minus y sub 1, 5, m is a 2, x minus 2, right? And then we are writing the slope intercept form, which is forms of y equal to mx. So for y, so y minus 5, of course you cannot keep the parentheses, so distribute the 2, and then take away negative 5 from the left, and then you got 2x plus 1. But you can write the slope intercept form right away because one of the point is y-intercept. So m is a 2, yb is a 1. See, 2 and 1 right here, isn't it? Yeah, so it doesn't matter which points you use, okay? Alrighty, in next two examples, slope is hidden inside of the word parallel and perpendicular. So first of all, parallel means the two lines has the same slope. So whatever the first slope, you can use that for the second slope. Because these two lines never meet, we call the parallel lines. So first example, find the slope intercept form of the line through the 2 and negative 3 and parallel to the y equal to 4x plus 1. So we are looking for the slope intercept form from this point, okay? But the given equation, this is a given equation. So given equation is the y equal to 4x plus 1. So whatever equation we're going to get, we'll get the same slope as a given equation. So we need to take out the slope first. So slope for the given equation is 4. And then one of the point is 2 and negative 3. So you can just use a point slope form, right? So y minus y sub 1 equal to m times x minus x sub 1. So I can call this is x sub 1, y sub 1. So y minus of negative 3. Slope is a 4 of x minus 2. And then solve for y. Y plus 3 equal to, distribute the 4. X minus a, subtract 3 both sides. And then you got 4x minus 11. So that's the equation for the problem. Okay, next one. Find the slope intercept form for the line through the negative 1 and negative 5 and parallel to the line of 2x minus 4y equal to 3. So when you have a standard form, which is this form, we don't know the slope yet. So what do? In order to find the slope, you need to solve for y, because y equal to mx plus b, okay? So in order to do that, I need to subtract the 2x both sides, and then I got negative 4y equal to negative 2x plus 3. And then solve for y means I need to get rid of negative 4, which is by division. So to cancel, y equal to 2 negative become positive 1/2 of x minus 3 over 4. So now we have the given equation. So as a given equation, we just need to take the slopes out, which is 1/2. So this is what we're going to use. So slope is 1/2, and also point is -1 and -5. Okay? And then point slope form, y minus y sub 1, m times x minus x sub 1. So y minus of -5, 1/2 of x minus -1. I want to simplify the sign first, okay? Which is 1/2 of x plus 1. And then you got to distribute the 1/2, which is 1/2 times that, so 1/2 of x plus 1/2. And then subtract 5 both sides. And then y equal to 1/2 of x. But 5 is actually 5 over 1 times 2 both sides to find LCD, which is a -10. So -10 plus 1 is -9 over 2. So that's the equation you're looking for as a slope in SFR. Okay, let's talk about the perpendicular lines, okay? So two lines are perpendicular if they meet a right angle, which means one goes this way, other goes this way, but the two lines must be exactly the 90 degree. That's what we call the perpendicular lines, okay? So the slope, always your slope is opposite reciprocal, okay? So in order to find the opposite reciprocal, so one of the line slope is 2/3. It should be the opposite. So you need to see the negative and then the flip it at 3 over 2. If you have a negative 3 over 1, so change to the fraction. Since the given slope is negative, and then other slope must be positive, and then with a positive, because sign must be different. This is 1 over 2, which means flip over 2 with a negative, right? So yeah, that's what we call the negative reciprocal. So in all example involving the perpendicular lines, we have the reciprocal and change the sign of the slope to find the slope of any line perpendicular to the given line. So example, find the slope in a set form for the line through the 2 and -3, and the perpendicular to the line is y equal to 4x plus 1. So this is what we're going to use, but we're going to find the slope from here, which is a 4, but we need to find the negative reciprocal. So slope that is the perpendicular for this one is going to be negative, and then flip the number as a 4 as 1/4. So this is actually the slopes. So we are using the slope is -1/4. With that, x sub 1, y sub 1. So point slope 4. M times x minus x sub 1. So y minus of -3. -1/4 of x minus 2. And then solve for y. Y plus 3 equal to, distribute the negative, 1/4 is -1/4 of x. And then -2 negative is a positive. 2 over 1, so it becomes 1/2. And then subtract 3 both sides. We'll get y equal to, cancel, -1/4 of x. And then over 1 multiply 2 both sides, become -6 plus 1 is -5 over 2. Yeah, so that's the equations. -1/4 of x minus 5 over 2. Find the slope of the slope intercept form for the line through the -1 and 5, and then parallel to the 2x minus 4y equal to 3. So we gotta solve for y to get the slope. So this is the given. So subtract 2x both sides. -4y equal to -2x plus 3. Divide by -4. And then we'll get y equal to 1/2 of x minus 3 over 4. So slope is the 1/2, but we're looking for the perpendicular slope, which is going to be -2, right? So opposite and the negative reciprocal. So we got this and this, and we're ready to find the equation. So y minus y sub 1 equal to m times x minus x sub 1. So y minus of -5, -2 of x minus -1. Y plus 5 equal to -2 of x plus 1. And then solve for y. So plus y. Distribute the -2. I got -2x minus 2. and subtract 5. I got y equal to negative 2x minus 7. That's all. This is the equations, okay? Alright, let's look it up the next page. Okay, now vertical and horizontal lines. So it's a special, okay? So vertical means this is the vertical line, which is slope is undefined. Horizontal means go to the left and right only, okay? So it doesn't increase, it doesn't decreases, okay? As a, you know, as a tilted, okay? It's straight up or straight right or left. Okay, so horizontal line always equates y equal to b. B is a number, a is a number too, okay? And then the slope is a 0 for the horizontal line, and then the vertical line is always undefined. So find the equation of horizontal line through that. So horizontal line is always y equal to b. And then you just need to, you know, from the order pair, you just need to find the y. What is a y? Y is a b, 1, isn't it? So this is it. For the second problem, find the equation of the line with the undefined slope. So undefined slope means it has to be the vertical, right? Which means it means x equal to a, which is what's x value in order pair? It's a negative 3. Again, what we need to be remember is that if a linear equation being sought is described as a vertical or as having the undefined slope, the equation will be always yx equal to a. If the linear equation being sought is described as a horizontal or having a slope of 0, the equation will be the y equal to b. So there are also examples that can involve the vertical and horizontal lines along with the topics of the parallel and perpendicular. So, for example, find the equation of the line through the negative 2 and 5, but it's a parallel to the negative 3. So, which is, this is negative, this means this is a vertical line, right? The vertical line means we have to get the equation as a vertical, right? So, x equal to a, but what is the x value in the order pair? Negative 2. Find the equation of the line through the 4 and 1, but perpendicular to the y equal to 2. So y equal to 2 is this line, right? So as a perpendicular, you have to put this way, isn't it? So which is we are looking for the horizontal line. So y equal to b, then y is a b is a 1 in here. So yeah, that's how you find that. Okay, so draw the given equation and then find the answers. Okay. So in summary, parallel vertical line is another vertical line, and perpendicular to the vertical line is a horizontal line. Parallel to the horizontal line is another horizontal line, and the perpendicular to the horizontal line is another vertical line. Linear function. So when I consider the slope y-intercept form y equal to mx plus b, the relationship between the x and y can be stated as y being a function of x. So for this reason, it is often useful to describe the linear relationship using the function notations. So as a linear function can be written in the form of f of x equals mx plus b. So instead of the y, you're using the f of x. That's we call the function. So where m is the slope and the b is the y-intercept. Except for the vertical lines that do not pass the vertical line test, every line can be written as a linear function. So let's do some the word problem here. Okay, so this problem derive a linear function can be defined to convert temperature reading from the Celsius as the x variable to the Fahrenheit f of x, which is the y value. The evaluate is function when x equal to 25. Record that the 2 points will always define a line. We will use the points derived by the comparing the freezing and boiling points of the water for the both Celsius and Fahrenheit. So if you actually draw out the plane, this is going to be the Celsius, this is going to be the Fahrenheit, okay? So which means this is a degree and this is a Fahrenheit. So the order pair we can get is 0 degree means 32 and 100 degree for the boiling as a Celsius means 212 for the Fahrenheit, okay? Yeah, so in order to find because we are looking for the linear function for that, so find the slope first. So in order to get a slope means y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Subtract 212 minus 32 over 100 minus 0. In order to do that, you got the 180 over 100 reduced as 9 over 5. So this is a slope. Now, good thing is we already have a y-intercept here, which is, yeah, That's a good thing, right? So we already have a y-intercept here. A y-intercept here, which means 32 is a b this time. And this is an m, right? Okay, so we got the mx plus b, which is this power m is 9 over 5. And then x for the Celsius to plug it in, right? And then for the 32, right? Now we need to actually find the function. So now you can change the f of x, okay? X plus 32. So now the x is given 25. So plug it in. So 9 over 5 times 25 plus 32. And 5 goes 25 5 times, which is a 45 plus 32, which is going to be the 77 degree. So that is the Fahrenheit, and when the 25 degree is the Celsius, okay? All right, that's for all for 1.2. Thank you for listening.